Welcome everyone to our final day of regular matches here for round 3 before we go into playoffs. Our 27th match here of the season. My name is Wolf, with me is Moonblade. How are you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good, Wolf. Very excited for today, the final play day. A lot is going to be determined here. Still a lot of playoff spots up for grabs between all these teams. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting one.
All will be decided today, as we will find out the final standings of these teams. KT Rolster here will face off against MVP in this first matchup. And here they are, our first players, Losira versus TY. Start things off in a ZBT.
Yeah, this should be a pretty fun matchup.
Yeah, it's actually my favorite of this first match because I feel like it really could go either way.
Yeah, they have the best shot here. I mean, there's still some other interesting matches. Youngwa bet Splash could go either way. Gumiho, always a dangerous player, but he's going to be up against Zest. So, you know, there's a lot of danger here, but I think Losira has to take this win to get it to an ace match at least.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's one of the most important wins, but I'm not sure you could do it against TY. Losira has lost a bit of his mojo, if you will, since the beginning of round 3. He was looking incredible. He's looking really solid this season in general, and then suddenly he seems to have fallen off quite a bit. He's not had the success in recent times that you would expect from somebody who has such a great record, even in the individual rankings, which we'll take a look at later.
Yeah, and kind of the opposite for TY. He kind of got rid of anything that was kind of hindering his progression as a pro gamer. He's actually gone back to his older form. He's winning a lot, and we got some stuff to talk about when we actually start to hype these players up, because TY has been doing very well recently.
Yeah, he has performance in the GSL, surprised a lot of people as well. You know, people were saying, like, how well is this guy actually going to do in the GSL, because he was slumping for a while.
Yeah.
He also wasn't being fielded in Pro League for most of this season.
It has been a long time since TY, has really been showing the success he had last year, but I think he's finally back, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it today as we have a look at the lineup here.
Well, a lot of people are thinking this is going to be an all, because it's going to be a clean 3-0. Just looking at the lineups, if TY is able to beat Losira, then Life versus Hero looks insanely Life favored. Zest versus Gumiho. Gumiho has beaten Zest in the past. Gumiho has actually won some great TVPs, but if he's off today, it could just be a 3-0. We won't even necessarily see Youngwa versus Splash.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to Losira versus TY. Losira has to get this win, because I don't see either player below him getting it. And it's kind of a scary place, because Losira, as you were saying earlier, he just hasn't been performing like he used to.
Yeah. And Liquid Hero, on the other hand, has been performing incredibly well in recent times, results-wise. I feel like his gameplay in some of his matches has oftentimes been lacking in some areas, and a lot of the wins he took they weren't the most legit wins. Like, he's got a few DT wins under his belt and things like that, but still, results are important, and we've seen him do quite well, so his mentality must be pretty good. Now let's take a look at our rankings. Like I said before, everything will be decided today, as in this round-robin format, every team will play 7 matches. And so looking at this, we've only got a few games left, just these last 2. And we'll talk about all the situations that could occur a little bit later on. I don't want to get into it too much right now. Here are our winners' rankings. Losira, as I was saying before, still in the top 8 currently at 11 and 8. Maru and Hero tied at 15. Just looking at this with the lineups we have today, Life could potentially tie if he does win and then plays in the ace match and wins again. It's possible.
Definitely get up there. The rest of these players, not much hope when they get down to rank 19. But yeah, we could definitely see some interesting changes in the winner rankings.
Now here are round 3 winners rankings, which will of course have players from each race seeded into our upcoming Kespa Cup. So you can see Dream, Biel, Classic, and Hero currently seeded into the tournament. Talking about foreign seeds when those get announced later on. Here are our viewpoints for today. MVP is challenging to advance to the round postseason for their 2nd time. They did actually do incredibly well last time. They did that last season. And I guess that's really our only viewpoint for the day.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting as a quick look at kind of who needs to do what to get into those playoffs. MVP, they have to beat KT, and SKT has to beat Spenu. So it's very possible. There is a chance there if MVP can perform today. If they can take that win over KT, a good chance they'll make it through.
And MVP has bought chicken for the fans here in the studio. And So that's something else to note. If you come down here, you might be able to get a little bit more of what's left of it. You're probably a bit too late at this point if you're not leaving your home just yet, especially if you don't live in Korea. It's like, Wolf, can I get on a plane and come down to get a chicken? No, sorry, you can't.
Well, if they're going to do that, I might even just buy them chicken. I feel kind of sorry for them.
Yeah, I do too.
But yeah, MVP taking out all the stops today. They want to get the crowd on their side, so they're buying the chicken. They need everything they can, man. Because if they get this win, they essentially make it through. I don't see SKT losing this Spenu, but anything can happen at this point. There's both teams, Spenu and MVP, have done a lot of practice in the past, a lot of research on their players, and have really come into these play days with very calculated sort of builds.
Absolutely. Spenu has had some crazy wins. Valdez currently advances to first place.
I screwed up yesterday. I screwed up a lot.
I did too. But you know what? We're still tied up there at the top with Daehyun, our analyst. The three of us are actually in second place currently.
Yeah.
And Monday Caster, man, he's still above 60%, so everybody's at least doing pretty well.
Everyone's kind of hanging in there.
Yeah. And the MVP official coach is here. He's moved on to bigger and greater things. Often many people would say he's the head coach of the League of Legends team, as well as manages their Heroes of the Storm teams and their Dota 2 team. So the guy's a busy guy, but he came down here today. He's no longer like the head coach of Starcraft because he does a ton of different things, but he's here to support the team today. It's that important to him.
Yeah, it's a very big day for them. And here we go. Here is Losira, one of the big hitters for MVP. 11-8 so far this season, 5-3 against Terran, and 4-2 against TY, including unofficial.
Which is actually pretty incredible. You wouldn't think that they have fought each other that much recently, and in the past, say when TY was actually starting to rise to power, Losira was in a big slump and was not winning very much. So that's actually kind of an incredible record to have against someone who's most people would consider favored against Losira, except in recent times.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Well, let's see what he can do today. He's going to be up against TY, and well, I got some stats for you, man, because TY has been on a tear, especially in the IM Shenzhen qualifier, taking down the likes of Life, Dream, Stats Creator, Jachi, Tangkang, Zound. This guy defeated all of them. Really an amazing run through that qualifier, and it's just kind of speaking volumes of how well he's doing these days.
Yeah, the guy, no doubt, has cleared his mind. Maybe some past blocks that he had in his head, maybe some distractions that he had. Who knows? But clearly he's in a good mindset now, and I favor him. You know, actually, I want to say I favor him, but this is so hard actually to predict.
It is a pretty tricky one. I'm going to give it to TY though. I mean, if he can take down the likes of Life, then clearly he's got it going for him at the moment. He's kind of peaking right now at the right time as well. Yeah. Losira's got it really cut out for him. It's going to be on Coda as well, so bit of a tricky map.
Literally the hardest prediction of the day for me. And looks like we're just going to jump into it right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. Losira versus TY, game number 1. Up here in the top left in teal for MVP, it's Losira. There's his GG girl. Just saying, show a good game today.
Down here in the bottom right for KT, it is TY.
He looks really good.
Unfortunately, that picture does not. I don't know what happened there.
Hell for TY, I believe is what that sign said.
It's actually got sunburned pretty badly as well.
Yeah. You know, Losira messaged me yesterday, personally, found my contact to wish me a happy birthday. Which actually meant a lot to me.
That's sweet.
You know, I wouldn't say Losira and I are super close or anything like that, but I was touched by that.
Yeah, that's actually really nice.
He's a very, very nice guy, and he's been in the Starcraft 2 scene since the very beginning. He's an incredible Miracle player. He switched over early on. I mean, he was not a top-tier Starcraft 1 player, so he's been around for much longer in Starcraft 2 than TY has.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I always loved Losira ever since the start there. When I finally got to go to career, the IM coach said I had a very similar playstyle to him. and he wanted to recruit me back then. It was a fond memory.
Yeah.
Fun memory.
Yeah,
So.
for a lot of people don't know this, but you actually lived in Korea and practiced in Korea as a pro gamer for quite some time.
Yeah, I got to stay here for a little while. I get to enjoy that GOM house and all the perks that came with it. It was a great time.
Oh, sure.
It was fun. And look at this. A nice early drone scout from Losira. He's going to be scouting out the CC first. Be able to delay it just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just going to poke on that SCV, force another one to come down. This is obviously very annoying for TY. But Losira playing it safe in the best of one on a two-player map like Coda especially. It's always good to have an idea whether or not your opponent's proxying you and how greedy you can be. It looks like Losira's actually going to go doubles hatch before pool because he sees the CC first. He knows he's safe. He knows he can do this.
Yeah, see, this is a very calculated build already. Like, not many drone scouts will go all the way down to the Terran base to see what's going on, but he does it this time as he suspects it's going to be a CC first, and he's already got a build order in place for it, which is the double hatch. I like it a lot.
Even going into gas before pool as well.
Yeah. 18 gas, 18 pool after double hatchery. Could not be more greedy, but he can get away with this.
Ooh, gonna force another stop here for just a second. Oh,
he's
gonna lose that. Got
Greedy.
a bit overzealous.
Too greedy.
You see TY takes his hand off the keyboard, itches nose after that moment. You know, he'd have a little bit of reprieve there. But, you know, realistically, the drone scout obviously uses a lot of money to do that. But if you're going to follow up with double hatch for a pool, it doesn't matter that much. Also, because you can harass that CC first, if you run into that build order, which is what he was expecting, it really doesn't hurt you that much because you're going to force the Terran to also lose significant mining time, or he's not going to finish his CC.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what the next step is. One thing with the double hatch before pool against the Terran is it does leave you pretty open in the early game, 2 timings, 2 harassment. So it's very smart that he did go for that gas before pool, make sure he got the speed out as quickly as possible, despite it being a much later pool as well.
Do you expect TY most likely out of third CC with his Hellions, or do you think he's going to get quicker Banshees here to counter the third CC, or third hatch rather, that he scouted here?
Yeah, I think we might have seen probably play a little bit more aggressive considering of how greedy Losira went. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the Hellion Banshee sort of movement from TY. Try and get the job done a little, force out a lot of lings to stop him from droning up 3 base, because that would just get him so far ahead.
Yeah, well, there's a third CC first. He doesn't add a second gas, so I suppose he feels pretty safe against this, and we might still see Banshees followed up. Obviously, they'd be pretty late, but not going to have Cloak.
Yeah. Well, you know, you don't necessarily need Cloak with your Banshees. If you get a couple, it just gives you complete map control, a lot of poke power. But we'll see. Yeah, as you said, only 1 gas for now. Still enough for a stop, whatever he wants to.
Yeah. Bunker's going down, meanwhile, just to be safe again. And so far, Losira, we had it shown on camera for you guys. It did pull out of gas, is mining all of that extra minerals, and we'll be able to get extra queens with some of that extra money as well to help defend this pressure. Also get the creep out that he needs to make sure that he could defend bigger, more aggressive pressures later on, even with some of the bio.
Yeah, it's also one other thing that you just kind of suffer going for a double hatch like this. Your queen count's going to be a lot lower than you'd want it to, so non-existent creep spread right now, which is kind of a big problem going into the mid games. You want to get a couple of queens out to kind of fix that problem.
So far, good denies here on Vision with this Overlord. He's trying to stop him from seeing the third CC. He will see it, which is really important because had he not seen this, Losira might even have to make a Baneling Nest to prepare for possible Hellbat aggression because he really wouldn't know what was coming next. So it's really important that he was able to see that CC.
Yeah, it shows that he doesn't have to worry too much about a 2-base, as you said. Very important. I don't know. He also got a scout off on the racks as well, so he does know kind of all the tech routes and what it's going to be. Stim on the way.
Yeah, it's very important.
Idea. Yeah, it was just the tiniest scout of the main base, but it was enough.
So at this point, back at home, TY is taking all the greed with his E-bays, as well as the Stim, so he's going double upgrades at the same time. Powering up his barracks. He knows he doesn't have to worry about any aggression coming anytime soon. He's going to build up his SCV count. He's going to have triple mules. He's going to have a lot of extra money to support these additional barracks he's adding right now.
Oh, man. But look at this. Losira is going to go for a big hit. Nothing but lings. Baneling Nest just about to finish. He's going to go for a huge ling Bane. And if you can catch these Hellions out, only 4 Hellions on the map. That is not enough to kind of stop this from coming.
Yeah, he's actually just got simply like only one bunker as well, very few Marines.
Oh, wow. This is a perfect plan from Losira.
This is actually going to totally catch TY. I've heard he's playing insanely greedy. He has no expectations of this. He's not sending his Hellions past the watchtower either.
No.
And that's not going to scout the Lings. The Lings are just going to take a different path here.
They're all going around, every single one. Eventually, I think they're going to start trickling through the middle of the map to reinforce, but this is going to really catch him out. He hasn't the slightest idea this is coming, but Stim is going to finish just in time.
Oh, well, now he sees it. Went out there to make a depot. Now he needs to react.
How's he going to react? Looks like no reaction just yet. He has no idea. So much is on the map, about to crash through the natural.
Here we go. It's the first glimpse. He raises the depots in time. Banelings crash through that bunker. Marines are on the run. He does evacuate his SCV successfully. He doesn't have a tight wall at the top of his ramp, so the Speedlings are just going to go in without Banelings. The Hellions get denied. They're not able to get in here and help, and all the Marines are dead. So many more Speedlings still on the map.
That's right, and they're going to get amongst the production. There's nothing TY can do at this point. He's going to have such a hard time, or pretty much no chance at all of defending this now. When they're on top of your racks like this.
That should be game here.
I think it most definitely will be.
Down now to 61 supply. Banelings morphing in the face of the barracks.
Oh, wow. What a great build from Losira.
GG. Playing insanely greedy. Then right as TY puts on the greed to counter it, he puts on that Speedling production. Keeps his drone count low. He was able to do this because TY did not force the issue with his Hellions. He only made 4. So he was just going to keep them in the middle of the watchtower, expecting, okay, I'll see something if it comes.
Yeah. Completely caught off guard. Losira did his homework. He knew exactly the kind of build that TY was going for. He knew how to react to it. He found his timing. And that really opens the door for MVP to try and get this win over KT and maybe, just maybe get into the playoffs.
Yeah. A really, really important first win here. Momentum is now in their favor as well. And I feel like it gives you a ton of momentum when you win a game like this where you take a big risk. Had they lost this game though, I feel like, it's a double-edged sword to a certain extent. If say TY scouted this and made a ton of bunkers and holds this, it's going, oh God.
Yeah.
But now it's like, all right, yes, the plan worked. Everything we've got planned today, we could just keep doing what we've got planned. We've got this momentum on our side. We can do this. We will win this. I think their spirits have to be insane.